Hello and welcome back to your mat. Today we're going to do just a short class to help if you are lower on energy. So there is this concept of yin and yang, or yin and yang energy, depending on how you pronounce it or how you've heard it pronounced. And the yin is more of the passive, the cooling, the moon side, or the feminine side. And the yang or the yang is considered more of the warm, the active, the sun, the masculine side. There's a lot more terms to use for those two. But we need both in our lives. So you obviously need a little bit of each. You need light, you need dark, you need all the opposites of each other. And so there's no different with a yoga practice. So sometimes we find that maybe our energy is really low, and other times maybe it's really high and we need to kind of calm it down. So this particular class is going to help you if you find that you're a bit low on energy. But instead of just like, hey, let's get moving and get crazy, when you're low on energy, you don't always want to move right away. So we're going to kind of start with a little yin energy to coax us into that yang energy. So we'll get started with a quote by Gandhi. The future depends on what you do today. So this is a great class to think about that. Future depends on what you do today. So if your energy is low and you just want to sit on the couch, maybe take a short amount of time here and just roll that mat out and let's do this quick class. So I'm recommending 2 blocks for today's class, or a nice rolled up blanket, towels, pillows, whatever you want to use to kind of prop yourself up for these first couple of poses. So get what you need for that, and we're going to start with a heart opener. So I'm using my 2 blocks here. You can decide on the height of them that you want. I'm going to go with the one at the top at the highest level, and I'm going to do the one that's going to be my shoulder blades. So this block will be roughly right about here on the shoulder blades. So I'm going to have this at the medium height. So you have to readjust this a bit as you lay down over it. But this is going to help us just arrive and acknowledge that maybe our energy today is a bit lower for whatever reason. So go ahead and lie back over those blocks. So that bottom block is right around the lower shoulder blades there. And then the other block is underneath of your head, underneath of, right above your neck. So your neck is kind of hanging free here. And your arms are coming out to the side. So you'll see that your chest is really opening up here. So we're going to stay here for a few breaths. But the idea is, if you are low on energy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do a really active, really hit it hard kind of practice. There's other things that we can do to help increase that energy. So this is opening the chest, and it's a bit of a back bend here, slight back bend, which is energizing. So you'll see in today's class, some of the poses we're going to do, we're approaching it from more of that standpoint of incorporating some back bending to help bring in some energy, but also some more actively held poses. So we're not going to just passively go into a pose. This one we are, because we're starting out. But as we go along, you'll see what I'm talking about. So for right now, just let everything go. Acknowledge that your energy is low today. It's okay. Close your eyes if you want. I'm not going to stay here too long. But this is going to hopefully help revitalize that energy just a bit. Another inhale. Exhale and let all that go. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and prop ourselves on our elbows, come up for just a brief moment, pull the blocks out, and I didn't mention this to begin with, and I'm sorry I didn't. If you don't have blocks, you could also do that with just putting let's say this is a pillow. It's not a pillow, but let's say it was. You could lie back over that. It would give you the kind of the same idea. You're just really trying to open up that chest a bit. So just so you know. And then for this next one, we're going to do supported bridge with a block, or again, you could use that blanket. So go ahead and lie back down. Go ahead and bring those hips up. And here you can decide the height. I'm going to go with the medium height for mine. So that's the medium. This is the highest. This is the lowest. I'm going to go medium. Slip that underneath of right there at the sacrum, the base of your spine there. So we're in supported bridge. So again, we're not making ourselves work right away to get really intense, because a lot of times if their energy is low, this is not going to be helpful. So instead, we're going to come into, again, this is helping to, one thing that's helping to reverse the flow of blood. It is a bit of a back bend. It's mild, but it is a back bend. So it's going to help energize a bit. But the block is helping you so you don't have to hold yourself up in this case. So again, if that energy is low, then maybe you don't have the energy to hold yourself up right now.
So we're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths and let go. And again, acknowledge that it's okay if you are low on energy. It happens to all of us for a variety of reasons. Sometimes when we're really low on energy, what we really need is just a restful class. Other times we just need to move our energy a bit and see if that helps. Because sometimes our energy can stagnate in the body and really make us feel, lethargic or whatever. So go ahead and inhale one more time there. Exhale, remove the block and go ahead and release your hips back down on the ground slowly here. And then go ahead and roll over to one side and bring yourself up to sit. So from here, we are going to simply come into, and actually I was going to have you rock up. So let's just do that. Let's go back down. I meant to do that. So when you don't have to, you can always roll over on your side if you want to. But if you'd like, this is also can help some little spinal rolls. So just a couple little rocks here. So I'm holding back on my legs. I'm rocking myself, and rock yourself up to a seat. Again, if that doesn't work for you, you can always just roll over to the side there. But I wanted to offer that as an option. And then from here, we're going to move a little bit more now. So we're still seated, but now we're going to do some rolls here. So I'm just seated cross-legged, and we're just going to roll the spine, the upper body around in circles here, around that pelvis area. So just go ahead and roll one direction. We'll go the other in a minute. Kind of helping to move some energy, move the body just a bit. We're kind of coaxing our body. We're kind of tricking it into. Let's go the other side. So go the opposite direction. So around that center bowl of the pelvis, we're kind of like churning that energy a bit. Sometimes it's nice just to give ourselves a little coaxing into, and next thing you know, you feel better and you're glad you moved. And then come back to center. And now we're going to come into all fours and do a few cat-cows again to help warm up a bit more here. So go ahead and inhale and look forward, arching that low back. Exhale and round in. So now we're getting a nice little round here. Inhale, arch that low back. Exhale, round in. Once more, inhale, arch that low back. Exhale, round in. Back to neutral, and then we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So go ahead and tuck those back toes, come into your version, whatever works best for you, and down dog. You can have your feet wider, they can be closer, whatever you want. And when you arrive here, I want you just to pedal out those legs and really move everything here. So we're really stretching through all the way from our hands, all the way up to our hips, and all the way back down to our toes. So we're stretching everything here really nice. Just have a nice long line of energy here. Pedaling those legs, and then go ahead and come into your version of down dog. So that can be bent legs or it can be straight. And then we're gonna inhale and exhale. Another inhale. And then exhale. We're gonna come into active pigeon. So go ahead and bring that right foot forward. So what I mean by active pigeon is we're gonna stay more upright. So instead of coming all the way down into this, we're gonna stay more upright. And this is where your block, blanket, a pillow, whatever could help. Put that underneath of that right seat if you like to help you stay more upright. So we're not going to come forward. We're not going to be passive. We're going to be active in this pose. So I'm going to move the block, but keep it there if you need to. So we're going to stay more upright here. So my right leg is forward here. My right knee is bent. My right knee is going toward the right edge of my mat. And my left toes or left sole of my foot is toward the left hip here. And now I've got my fingertips on the ground. Again, you could possibly, or if you'd rather, instead of having a block underneath your seat, you might use that on either side of you to help you stay more upright. So this is an active pigeon. So this is another way to help really bring that energy in. And again, you could stay even more upright if you need to. So stay up to your degree, what feels best for you. Sink in as far as you like, but we're not going to fold forward and just let go into this pose. We're really going to actively bring ourselves up. You've got a slight back bend here going on. It's an active pose. So energetically, this is going to give you a little bit more of that yang or yang energy. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I don't know which way is the actual appropriate way to say it, but I'm going to say it both ways. So helping to open up that more energetic qualities. You're also getting a stretch here in your front body too. And then go ahead and release. We're going to come back into downward facing dog and release that right leg. So go ahead and stretch back and do what you need to do. Pedal your legs, whatever you need to do. Go ahead and come into your down dog. And where we're going now, we're going to the left side. So go ahead and bring that left leg forward. Prop yourself up any amount, however you need to. But we're going to stay up more upright here. So you can put a block or a pillow underneath of your left seat. You can have the blocks next to you. I'll let you see what I'm doing before I put the blocks next to me. Just have your fingertips on the ground. My left knee is toward the left end of my mat, and my right foot here is toward the right hip. So go ahead and find your version of a supported, active pigeon. This is a great opener, but it's also, because it's active, it's energizing. So really open up here, any amount. Now you don't want to crank it. You know, if you're having any low back issues, then you might have to be a little bit more rounded instead of more upright. So you have to just go with what your body says is good for you. But you should feel this all the way through, and it should feel very active and enlivening, energizing. And then we're going to go ahead and release that and come back in downward facing dog once more. So stretch back, pedal out your legs, do what you need to do. And end up in your version of down dog. Lower the knees, come all the way down onto your belly. And from there, we're going to do 3 rounds of cobra. I'm going to move the blocks out of the way, because from there we're going to do supine twists. So we're going to go ahead and cobra is also a back bend. So this is, again, going to help us energize ourselves. So go ahead and place the hands next to your chest, forehead to the ground. And then tuck those elbows in. Keep your shoulder blades down on your back. Inhale and rise up into any amount of cobra. So it can be a lower cobra, medium, or all the way up. And lower back down on the exhale. Inhale, twice more. Up into cobra, any amount. Exhale, back down. Once more. Inhale, rise up into cobra. Stay there for an extra breath. And lower yourself back down. And then we're simply going to roll over onto our left side. So I'm on my left side right now. And I'm just going to bring this right leg over top into a twist here. So I'm going to leave it straight to also kind of help with a little bit of energetics here, and also to open up that hamstring. If your leg is really tight and this doesn't work for you, you can always just bend the leg and bring it down. But I'm going to bring mine out to the side. So my right leg is out here to the left. My left leg is on the bottom, and I'm going to bring my right arm out to the right-hand side and open up and look out to the right. So you got a nice supine twist here, the nice straight right top leg to help open up the hamstrings, move that energy. You can always look up, straight up too, if you don't want to look over to the side. So decide what your twist is best for you. So again, you don't have to do a super challenging movement, crazy movement class to help with energetics. There's other poses, other things that we can do that will allow us to kind of coax the body and to hopefully get a little bit more energy. And then we're just going to simply bring that leg back, flip over to the other side. So roll onto your right-hand side now, right leg. And now my left leg will be out to the right, crossing it all the way over. I have mine straight. You can have yours bent if you like. Left arm out to the left, look out over to the left. And you should feel a nice release here on your back. You can close your eyes for a moment. You can be happy that you did something, even if you weren't feeling like doing a class today. Or maybe your energy was perfectly fine and this was just great classes to do to kind of help get you going, get you started and moving on. Stay there for another breath. And then go ahead, and if you'd like to, go ahead and stretch out into Shavasana. If you don't have the time, go ahead and roll up. Bring yourself up to a seat. Thank you so much for doing this class, taking the time to take care of yourself and your energetic level, wherever that may be for today. Again, if you have the time, this will be a great time to stretch out into Shavasana and maybe have a little nap, just because you did some movement now. Give yourself a little rest if you still need that. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to do more of these classes, maybe the opposite way if your energy is a little too high and you need to bring it down. So stay tuned for one of those coming soon. Thanks again for joining me.